Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, our guests of honor, students and guests, and welcome to Kwentong Mulat, the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal.
I am Andrea Kay Ocampo.
And I am Rafael Pajaro, and we shall be your hosts for this evening. Every month of February, the university celebrates the UP Diliman Arts and Culture Month. This year, we pay closer attention to one of the events that significantly tatak UP. This year, we mark the 50th anniversary of the Diliman Commune.
That's right. The Diliman Commune is truly one of the most historic events that took place in the university. Today, we shall once again look back at this momentous event that exemplifies the heart and spirit of an scholar ng bayan through a virtual tour of the places and sites around UP Diliman where the commune took place.
Before we formally start our event, let us first acknowledge the different university departments and offices who helped the Asian Institute of Tourism in making Kwentong Mulat, the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal project possible. UP Diliman Office for Initiatives in Culture and the Arts, TVUP, the Internet Television Network of the University of the Philippines, UP Diliman College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, UP College of Arts and Letters, UP College of Science, UP College of Human Kinetics, and DZUP, the official AM radio station of the University of the Philippines. Here to give us all a pleasant greeting, let us all welcome the Chancellor of the Diliman campus, Chancellor Fidel Nemenzo.
Congratulations to the Asian Institute of Tourism and the Office of Initiatives for Culture and the Arts for today's launch of the virtual version of the Diliman Commune Walking Tours. This is part of a series of activities that began on February 1 to commemorate and remember the historic Diliman Commune. I remember the Diliman Commune Walking Tour of 2019. Sa totoo lang, kung may oras lang ako, gusto ko sana mag-volunteer maging guide sa walking tour. Although I was part of a latter generation of activists in the 1980s, when we had our own experiences of militant activism on campus, I have my own recollections of the Diliman Commune as a young kid who lived on campus. Mga kami osyoso. I was driven by curiosity and, of course, a strong sense of adventure. When with my friends, we would watch the students from a distance. We would watch them mount the barricades until nakita nila kami and pinaalis kami ng mga college students. Ang sabi nila, masyado daw dangerous. I like the idea, and this is something that the pandemic has compelled us to do. I like the idea of exploring various platforms of celebrating occasions like this. Malinaw sa akin kung bakit ito virtual. Gusto ko lang balikan ang mga dahilan kung bakit nga natin binabalikan at ginugunita ang Diliman Commune. Ang Diliman Commune ay naging simbolo ng tapang at paninindigan ng ating estudyante at faculty. Our students who saw their larger role not only as defenders of UP, the university, and academic freedom, but also their role as social critics who saw society as their classroom. They saw themselves not only as students, but as agents of change. We commemorate the Diliman Commune not only as a historic event. We remember the Diliman Commune because it will continue to be a source of lessons and inspiration for today's generations of students. Muli, maraming salamat, congratulations AIT for this wonderful project of reenacting the Diliman Commune walking tours virtually, and for OICA for this 50th anniversary commemoration of the historic Diliman Commune. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chancellor, for that wonderful message. Now let us call on our next speaker, coming from the Office for the Initiatives in Culture and the Arts, Dr. Cecilia De La Paz, OICA Director.
Kaalinsabay ng pagdiriwang ng Pambansang Buwan ng Sining sa darating na Pebrero 2021, gugunitain ng Universidad ng Pilipinas ang dalawang mahahalagang engkwentro sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, ang Diliman Commune noong 1971 at ang pagtatagpo ng Pilipinas at Espanya noong 1521. Nihahandog ng UP Diliman Opisina ng Chancellor at UP Diliman Office for Initiatives in Culture and the Arts ang UP Diliman Arts and Culture Festival 2021. Engkwentro, barikada 50 at 500 taon ng pagtatagpo ng Pilipinas at Espanya. Nagaganapin mula Pebrero hanggang Abril 2021. Hinihimok ang mga scholar ng bayan na pagnilayan sa pamamagitan ng mga proyektong pangsining at pangkultura ang mga pagtatagpo ng mga ideya at konsepto, palitan ng material at performatibong kultura, paglikha ng mga kolaborasyon na nagbibigay ng kritikal na perspektiba sa mga isyong pangkasaysayan at panlipunan, at pagsusulong ng mga talastasan ng mga manliksik, guro, mag-aaral at publiko. Sa kabila ng suliraning pangkalusugan, ang mga gawaing nakahanay ay nakasandig sa mga gawaing akademiko, suporta sa mga malikhaing gawa at pananaliksik ng mga kagaruan at estudyante, mga artista sa loob at labas ng universidad at gayon din malay sa kapakanan o serbisyong publiko. Sa pamamagitan ng mga gawain ito, may pagpapatuloy hindi lamang ang dokumentasyon o pag-arkibo ng mga halagang datos, naratibo, malikhaing gawa at iba pang forma ng panaliksik, kundi masisiguro rin ang tradisyon ng mapanuri, malusog, at matalas na pakikipagtalastasan ng universidad tungkol sa mga usapin at isyung nasyonal at global. Ang mga proyekto na nakapaloob sa festival ay mga online webinars, forum conferences, virtual exhibitions, digital and multimedia performance, art installation mula sa iba't ibang kolehiyo na nakakikitaan ng interdisiplinaryong lapit mula sa iba't ibang disiplina. I-like at i-follow ang UP OICA sa Facebook, Twitter at Instagram para sa updates ng hashtag UPD Arts Culture Festival 2021. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Director Cecilia De La Paz, for those very kind words. Our last address would be coming from our home college, project leader for Kwentong Mulat, the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal, our very own Dean of the UP Asian Institute of Tourism, Dean Leticia Susan Lagmay Soles.
Magandang gabi po. Salamat sa inyong pagdalo sa paglulunsad ng isang proyekto ng UP Asian Institute of Tourism kaugnay ng UP Diliman Arts and Culture Festival 2021. Ito pong Kwentong Mulat Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal na inyong mapapanood ay ang kauna-unahang virtual tour na aming ginawa na ahon sa isa sa mga original na walking tours ng Diliman Campus na aming sinimulan noong 2019. The UP AIT organized these walking tours initially as part of the lineup of activities for the Lakad Gunitas commemoration of 2019. Back then, there were 5 different themes for the tours, all of which were designed through collaboration with experts, scientists, artists, and various other stakeholders of UP. Each tour has allowed the participants to get a glimpse of the campus environment, history, arts, and culture of the university. We received many requests to continue with these tours, even way after the Lakad Gunita commemoration in 2019. Hence, we plan to institutionalize these tours and offer them on a regular basis. While the walking tours have sparked a lot of interest, the question has remained on the value of institutionalization of the tours, and which may eventually become a part of an active tourism engagement of the university. It was felt, however, that while communities often regard tourism as a tool for economic development and creation of jobs, transforming the university into a destination with interesting tourist attractions and with mass tourism for income generation should never be the goal. Instead, development of specific activities and attractions is a way by which we could harness intangible benefits such as instilling pride amongst UP students, faculty, employees, alumni, and the wider UP community. It can also be seen as a way of sharing the university by allowing the general public to experience the cultural and natural resources that UP is endowed with and be able to make a connection with the university. Tourism placemaking is the foundation of tourist attractions. In its broadest sense, it is how people recognize, define, and create the places they often call home, whether intentionally or not. It is not a deliberate and purposeful approach to place creation. Instead, is one that occurs spontaneously. The collective memories of those who have become part of the university, including those who have gone before us, serves as the foundation for this sense of place. For without this, the campus is just a physical space without meaning. This particular tour on the Diliman Commune, which we now currently offer in virtual mode, is a clear example of how, by leveraging history and cultural memories as the focus, participants can get an accurate narration of significant events, ideals, and values that have come to define the university, so this will not be forgotten. A number of resource persons, some of who are with us today in this launch, provided the rich narratives and sources of information which served as the foundation for this tour that we have crafted for you. Having been active participants of the Diliman Commune in 1971, their eyewitness accounts of events now serve as a permanent historical record of how students, faculty, administrators, and the UP Diliman community joined forces to show defiance against a growing threat of dictatorship and repression. Let this tour be a fitting tribute to those who participated in the Diliman Commune, especially to those who lost their lives or suffered casualty. Further, a reminder of the strength, courage, and fortitude that to this day define the UP constituents who are always ready to defend UP from threats to suppression of rights and academic freedom. In the future, the AIT aims to come up with more tours in virtual mode for now and to be offered as walking tours when the time comes that mobility restrictions have been lifted, giving us the opportunity to welcome you to the campus as you take part in reliving history or simply to enjoy the Diliman campus, which is a treasure trove of science, culture, and the arts. For now, enjoy this virtual tour, Kwentong Mulat, Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal. Magandang gabi po.
Thank you very much, Dean Solis. And to our dear speakers, it is an honor to have you all with us today.
Now that we have heard some inspiring welcoming remarks from our distinguished speakers, let us now proceed to the next part of our program. The commentaries of our virtual tour came about from researches of the different partner colleges involved in the creation of the previous walking tours and interviews of our content team with reliable sources who lived to tell the stories of what transpired during the Diliman Commune. Today, we are honored to have with us people who made it possible for us to capture the narratives of the Diliman Commune. Joining us tonight is our first guest, former Vice President for Public Affairs, a multi-awarded writer, and was an active contributor of the Philippine Coalition during the time he was a student, Dr. Jose Dalizay Jr.
Isang maalab na pagbati sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat sa inyong pagdalo dito sa pasinaya ng ating bagong Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal na isinagawa ng Asian Institute of Tourism sa pamumuno ni Decana Leticia Susan Lagmay Solis. A very pleasant evening to all of you and thank you for having me here. Gusto ko po talagang makasama kayo ngayon sapagkat mahalaga sa akin ang pinapaksa ng virtual pasyal na ito. I was privileged not just to be a resource person for this tour, but to have been part of the Diliman Commune itself 50 years ago as a 17-year-old freshman. I have many vivid memories of that uprising, which I have dealt with in essays and in my first novel, the highlights of which include running for dear life across the muddy grass as we were chased by the military and sneaking out of campus in the little white car of Dr. Fred Lagmay, Dean Susan's father, to publish The Free Collegian. 50 years is a long time, and to our young students today, it might as well be ancient history. So why are we setting up this tour? Those of us who were there might feel nostalgic about it, remembering a time when we were young and brave and ready to die, or at least that's what we told ourselves. But what is this virtual tour's value to the freshmen of 2021? It lies, I think, in understanding what we are in UP for. And no, it is not only so that we can be rebels and put up barricades, although we did that when we had to. We are here to seek knowledge and to learn, and to share what we know with our people, so we can improve their lives and bring progress and justice to our society. That has not changed in 50 years. But sad to say, many things have not changed as well, despite the fact that we have moved on to the age of the internet, Netflix, remote learning, and cryptocurrency. The evils that we fought 50 years ago are still here. The poverty, the injustice, the corruption, the exploitation. In some cases, they have even become worse because of the great digital divide that has left of millions of poor Filipinos on the other side of the fence. The Diliman Commune, which began as a peaceful protest against a 10-centavo oil price increase, was a reminder to us of the need to remember our responsibility to the rest of society, to put people above self, which too many UP alumni have forgotten. To be of service, we need to be free to learn and free to teach. And increasingly, our academic freedom has been threatened again by powerful political forces. There may be no tax or soldiers at our gates, not yet, but the threats to academic freedom are more subtle and can even come from within. The old barricades of wood and stone will no longer work. We must be as creative as those who seek, as they did 50 years ago, to undermine us, responding to provocations peacefully, intelligently, and effectively. Again, I'd like to commend the AIT for this initiative to keep the flame of freedom burning in every UP students and faculty members' hearts. Kailangan din natin ng ganitong bagong uri ng turismo, hindi lamang para sa katawan, kundi na rin sa utak. Welcome to UP, the Boracay of the mind. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Dr. Dalisay, for such inspiring words. Our next guest is also another important resource speaker for the project, former UP Regent, former Dean of the College of Social Work and Community Development, and an activist then and now, Dr. Judy Tagiwalo.
Magandang gabi at paalam na pagbati. Nagagalak akong maimbitahan sa paglulunsad ng Kwentong Mulat, Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal. Magti-21 years old ako nang nangyari ang Diliman Commune noong Pebrero 1971. Mapalad ako na maging bahagi ng makasaysayang pagtindig ng komunidad ng UP para ipagtanggol ang pamantasan, ang kanyang kalayaan akademiko at ang kanyang espasyo mula sa atake ng mga pulis at militar. Mapalad ako at ang mga ibang scholar ng bayan na bahagi ng Diliman Commune na maranasan ang init ng pagkakaisa na iba't ibang sektor ng pamantasan, ang pamumulaklak ng creativity sa iba't ibang paraan, ang markadong partisipasyon ng kababaihan at ang malawak na suporta mula sa labas ng UP. Mapalad ako na naging bahagi sa paglikha ng kasaysayan, ang kasaysayan ng pagtindig at paglaban para sa academic freedom, may pagtanggol ng espasyo ng universidad at mas mahalaga na muling maipahayag na responsibilidad ng UP ang pakikisa, ang solidarity sa mamamayang Pilipino. Ngayon sa ika-50 taon ng Diliman Commune, sa gitna ng pandemya, sa gitna halos ng mag-isang taong lockdown ng ating bayan, sa gitna ng lalong paghihirap ng ating mamamayan, sa gitna ng malawakang paglabag sa karapatang pantao, at sa gitna ng atake sa ating pamantasan. Mahalagang patuloy nating hawakan ang mga aral ng Diliman Commune ng pagkakaisa, pagtindig laban sa mga atake, at sa ating mga kalayaan at karapatan, at pakikiisa ng pamantasan sa maralita at walang boses. Ang proyektong ito ng Asian Institute of Tourism ay isang ambag para mapanatiling buhay ang mga aral at diwa ng Diliman Commune. Ang pasyal na ito ay hindi lamang pagbabalik sa nakaraan ng aming kabataan, kundi ang pagpaalaala sa patuloy na katuturan ng nakaraan. Hindi lang ayon sa naging history professor ko, Renato Constantino, hindi lang the past revisited, kundi the continuing past. Umaasa ako ng bagong henerasyon ng mga isko at iska ng bayan ay maiugnay ang virtual na pasyal na ito sa tuloy-tuloy na pangangailangan ng pagtindig sa harap ng mga patinding hamon sa ating mga karapatan at sa harap na lumalaganap ng tiraniya. Umaasa ako na sa tulong na matutunan ninyo sa virtual na pasyal na ito, ang bagong henerasyon na maisko at iska ay tutugon sa panawagang umayot, itanghal, giting at tapang. Mabuhay kayo, pag-asa ng bayan. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Tagiwalo and Dr. Dalisay, for imparting us with your knowledge and experience. We are truly grateful for having you on board with us.
Coming from the point of view of our dear resource speakers, let us now hear from the side of our very own team who dedicated their time and efforts in creating this project.
5, 4, 3, 2, action!
Inimbitahan ho kami ng OICA para po muling maki-join sa celebration ng UP Diliman Arts and Culture Month. Naisip po ng aming dekana ni Dean Susan na baka pwede kaming mag-convert nung mga walking tours na meron po ang AIT which have been carried out during the 2019 celebration also of the Diliman Arts and Culture Month. So during that time po, nakilala po ang series of walking tours na meron sa UP Diliman at ang isa nga po dito ay yung Diliman Commune Revisited.
Actually, yung script namin, inspired siya of the previous Diliman Commune walking tours. Pero for the virtual tour, we had to take out some parts and talaga mag-focus lang sa iilang lugar na yung pinakamahalaga, yung pinakamalaki yung significance during the commune.
At nung panahon po na kino-conceptualize po namin yung project, inisip ko po na madali lang siguro ito kasi meron na kaming materyales, meron na kaming mga estudyante na trained para mag-carry out nitong tour na ito. Or so I thought.
Bago sa amin yung virtual tourism, masaya kaming nangangapa sa proseso, mas masaya kami sa produkto na nagawa namin ngayon.
So when OICA approved of the project concept for the conversion of the walking tour into a virtual one, Dean Susan Solis gave me the responsibility of identifying key persons within the organization who would help us carry out the plan. So una po sa mga naisip ko is to bring in again the same people who has been instrumental also in the Diliman Walking Tours production. So lahat naman po sila willing to help, So ang next agenda po is to convince tour guides kasi aware naman po ang lahat that a virtual guiding is somewhat different to yung actual tour guiding that they have experienced when they were taking yung 175 class. And I am very fortunate and I'm very thankful to our beautiful and handsome tour guides kasi pumayag po sila. Everybody po, wala pong estudyante, wala pong kawani na tumanggi. everybody was excited, no? Kasi nga po institutionalized na po kasi itong mga walking tours natin sa UP. So ako po, ang responsibility ko po was to put together the team, no, who will carry out the tour. Si Dean Susan Solis naman po, siya naman po ang talagang naging responsible in bringing in yung ating mga resource speaker who were able to share their stories of their actual participation in the Diliman Commune, no? So, lagit-lagi po kapag nagmi-meeting kami, bumabalik-balik po kami sa concept ng virtual tour, no?
Tour that we are creating, and we'd like very much to be able to enhance it, no? Aside from showing the buildings that are significant in Diliman, we'd like to have some stories from the people who were actually active participants in the Diliman Commune.
Ang focal point po ng isang virtual tour is more on the scenic rendering, no, of certain locations, of certain sites. And in this case, ang gusto natin ay i-showcase ang mga buildings within the academic oval na naging parte ng Diliman Commune. So, galing po ako sa perspektibong ganon, no? But, as we prepared, as we tried to gather the contents in the creation, in the production of the virtual tour, at sa mga interviews po na na-conduct ng grupo with our resource persons, I finally came to realize that the Diliman Commune as a virtual walking tour is not going to be an ordinary tour that would showcase sites and locations only. Kasi po, na-resign po ako sa fact na more than the sites within UP Diliman, it's the story of people who have been to these places and who were able to live out their experiences during the commune, kung ano yung mga napagdaanan nila, kung ano yung mga realizations nila, kung ano yung gusto nilang ibahagi sa mga taong hindi pa man naka-experience nitong ganitong sitwasyon. That seems to be more important rather than just focusing on the buildings alone, no? Kaya lagit-lagi po, dati, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, ang virtual tour, hindi documentary ha. Lagi po yon, paalala ko sa content team, paalala ko sa virtual guides ko. Make sure that your stories are inspiring, but make sure that at the background or at the foreground, kailangan nakikita pa rin yung kagandahan ng Palma Hall, ng Quezon Hall, ganyan. So, may time po during one of the interviews I joined that I finally came to realize na the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal is not your ordinary virtual tour.
I'm Ivan Dimacali from the content creation team, and I'm in charge of creating the publicity materials for the Diliman Commune Virtual Tour.
Hello, I'm Chloe. I'm a graduate from UP Asian Institute of Tourism. So I was one of tour experts during the UP Diliman month for the UP walking tours entitled Mulat.
Ako si John Ray Guevara, third year BS Tourism mula sa UP Asian Institute of Tourism. So I am part of the content creation team, and kami yung in charge sa script for this project.
Mabuhay! Ako si Winrose Cruz at parte ako ng Diliman Commune Virtual Tour bilang isang manunulat at researcher.
Three of them po.
Si Andrea, si Noah, at si Julio, ano yung role nila doon sa output? Where are they there? Oo.
Opo, sila po yung...
Are they going to be the voice?
Opo, voice and face po.
And face?
Opo, kasi po they will do actual guiding po.
Kasama dito yung mga kapwa ko scriptwriters at yung tour guides namin na Alam naming nagawa nila kung ano yung nasa isip ng mga scriptwriters habang ginagawa namin ito. Natural sa amin yung bonding na nangyari. Bilang pare-pares naming alam na importante ito. Iba kasi yung ikaw yung nagkukwento at ikaw naman yung tumatanggap ng kwento. And I've been blessed to experience them both, having different resource persons showing us glimpses of what transpired in the past. Napakiramdam ko, nandoon ako, kahit hindi pa ako pinapanganak. Napakiramdam ko, sasama din ako sa adhikain nila.
Nagkaroon din kami ng resource speakers na napagbahagi ng kanilang mga kwento during the commune, which is very important to keep our information accurate talaga sa kung ano man ang nangyari noong panahon na yan.
Been part of the Diliman Commune itself 50 years ago as a 17-year-old freshman. I have many vivid memories of that uprising, which I have dealt with in essays and in my first novel.
I enrolled sa masteral, no? I had 2 subjects sa sociology, but I was doing mainly organizing.
I finished my course at the TVUP College of Business Ad. But writer kasi ko when I was in UP Diliman. So I edited our journal in the College of BA, also the yung aming annual program namin. And other publications ng mga sa UP Student Council. So that is my background in broadcasting.
Ang pangalan ko Claude Gomez, class 71, Economics and ROTC. At isa sa mga kasama nung araw sa Diliman Commune.
Napakaganda ng araw na yon. Sobrang, akala ko uulan siya, sabi kasi sa News India, pero sobrang blinas kami. Ayan, kita nyo nga sa aking background. So that's during the actual shoot. We also get to enter yung ilan sa mga premises natin sa campus tulad nung Palma Hall. So for that, I just can't help to reminisce during the pre-pandemic time kasi ngayon lang ulit ako nakapasok doon sa Palma Hall.
Sa punto pong ito, bago namin tuluyang ipakita ang Kwentong Mulat, the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal, in behalf of our project leader, Dean Leticia Susan Lagmay Solis, allow me po to extend our deepest appreciation to the following people who have helped us create this virtual tour. Unang-una po yung opisina po ng Office for Initiatives in Culture and the Arts, si Dr. Cecilia de la Paz, at saka yung coordinator po na assigned sa amin sa AIT, si Ms. Joanna Razal. The Office of the Chancellor, headed by Chancellor Fidel Nimenzo. Lalong-lalo na po yung mga staff din po ni Chancellor Nimenzo, si Mr. Daryl, si Ms. Stella. They have been very responsive pagdating po sa mga request namin, lalong-lalo na if it concerns Quezon Hall. Vice Chancellor Aleli Bawagan of the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Community Affairs. Vice Chancellor Luis Sonido, Office of the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, together with her people, no, na si Miss Sara Lumba Tahonera from the Office of Student Housing, si Miss Nelia Talawe at saka si Miss Joyce Sebastian, dormitory managers for Sampaguita and Camia Residence Hall. Yung mga deans po ng College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, College of Engineering, si Dean Maria Bernadette Abrera, si Assistant Dean Darlene Gutierrez, yung iba po naming mga co-faculty who have helped craft our commentaries, si Professor Michael Bernal. Yan, maraming salamat po for all the help, for the support, for giving in to our request to access the buildings, to access the locations. We also would like to extend our sincerest thanks to our resource persons for their time in sharing sa amin para mabuo namin yung kwento. Si Dr. Jose Dalisay Jr., Dr. Judy Tagiwalo, former Dean George Sibal, and Class of 71 Cadet Corps Officer Cloyd Gomez. Maraming salamat po. Gusto rin po namin taos-pusong magpasalamat sa TVUP, kay Dr. Grace Javier Alfonso at sa kanyang team sa TVUP, dahil po sila po talaga ang naging punong abala para po sa production saka post-production itong Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal. So yung pong mga cameraman na kasama namin dati, si Miss Anya po, si Miss Christine, yun pong mga video at saka sound editors. Maraming salamat po. I want to be able to thank the students from AIT na talaga namang nagbuhos ng pagod, nag-effort para ma-carry out namin itong project na to. Yung aming mga tour guides, si Noah Webb, si Andrea Ocampo, and si Julio Rafael Pajaro. Yung content creations team namin ni Jan Ray Guevara, Edward James Tamayaw, Ivan Dimacali at saka Winrose Cruz. Sa aming administrative coordinator kay Ma'am RJ Manalo, talagang pagod din sila, at saka yung amin pong si Tito Demet namin, na naghatid sundo sa amin nung panahon ng shoot. And of course po, yung aming project leader, our very own Dean Leticia Susan Lagmay Solis. Dean, thank you po for the support, for the opportunity to be able to do this for AIT. So, kami po sa team, nag-enjoy po kami sa paggawa nitong virtual tour. Sana po kayo rin po sa panunood po ninyo mamaya, ma-relieve po ang memories and to be able to look at the beauty of the campus as it is right now, given its colorful and rich history.
Bilang pare-pares naming alam na importante ito at pare-pares naming gusto na yung listeners, yung viewers na maramdaman nila kung ano yung naramdaman namin habang ginagawa ito, na malaman nila kung ano yung gustong ituro sa atin ng nakaraan para sa ating naninirahan sa kasalukuyan. At nawa sa hinahandog namin ito, sabay-sabay nating alalahanin kung ano yung mga leksyong dala nito habang pinagmamasdan ng iba't ibang mga tanawin, mga piping saksing tanawin sa loob ng UP Diliman Campus.
The experiences and learnings of doing location shoots for Kwentong Mulat Virtual Tour with Director Gigi Alfonso, Prof. Charm C, TVUP Prod Team, and the super talented AIT ISCO and ISCA enrich me beyond measures. And for that, I would like to say, maraming salamat, Team Magaling. Pagpupugay, UP.
Okay, cut! Alright, that's good. Good take.
Thank you to our team for sharing their insights and utmost dedication for the creation of this virtual tour. At this point, we should now be amazed by the stories of our guests and their insights of our team. I'm sure we'll be more than ready and excited for what's coming next. this is the moment we have all been waiting for. In commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the commune, please sit back, watch, and be enlightened with our tour as we take you back to the past. Here's the premiere showing of Kwentong Mulat, the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal.
Welcome to the Diliman Commune Virtual Tour. I am Andrea Campo.
I am Rafael Pajaro.
I am Noah Webb, and we are students from the UP Asian Institute of Tourism, and we will be your tour guides today.
Come join us as we revisit some of the most historical buildings in UP, which played a big role in the commencement of the first quarter storm.
In 1971, the Quezon Hall, along with the University Avenue, were the centers of protest. Students, along with jeepney drivers and operators, heavily barricaded the entrances into the campus. They protested against the unjust oil price hikes and the worsening of the nation in the early days of Marcos's second term.
The immediate fuse for the commune was a 10 centavo oil price hike. And then Sani Messina was killed, and then that's when the barricades came up. The first barricades that we erected, and these were just chairs, basically tables and chairs, were at the very end of University Avenue. Yun ang unang pinasok noon. Doon nag-negotiations. That was where things were taking place. And then the police charged that barrier, broke through, and we started running.
Pumasok na lang ako when there was a call already to defend the university from the onslaught of the police, na pumasok. Dahil pinasok nila on, namatay si Sani Messina.
As Inocentes Campos, a math professor, attempted to enter the university, he found his way impeded by the barricade. Out of anger, he fired a loaded gun, and unfortunately, it hit the head of one Pastor Messina Jr. The wounded student was rushed to the infirmary and later Veterans Hospital, but died after 4 days.
The highlights of the commune for me were the killing of Sani Messina at the in portals, Doon nangyari yon, yung may ganun na papasok sa university, sa campus natin. That's exactly where it happened.
Na-involved kami. Of course, sumali kami doon sa barricade sa labas, nung hindi pa nagkakaroon ng insidente, nung namaril itong si Professor Campos, Ayaw niya yung mga activism at saka yung mga issues ng activism. Di naharangan siya. Ngayon, nagalit siya siyempre. At yung ginamit niya, shotgun. At tumama yon doon sa naging biktima. So yun yung nakapagpa-ignite ng mga barikada.
The students protested to then UP President Salvador Lopez, who later conceded to the student protesters. The oblation was painted in red, and the Philippine flag was hoisted with the red side up. The office of Professor Campos was broken into and subsequently vandalized. Professor Campos was later sent to the Quezon City Police District Detective Bureau. Today, Quezon Hall houses the offices of the UPD Chancellor and the UP President. We are now at the Melchor Hall, which is also the twin building of the Palma Hall. Due to its towering height, it was used as a vantage point by student activists who wished to keep an eye on the different entrances into the campus that intruding police forces might use. Students and faculty of engineering worked hand in hand to keep the operations of the DZUP transmission tower up and running, which originally was housed here. Red flags were hung in waves from the hall's facade. Protest statements and slogans could be found posted along hallways and in classrooms. Students living in the dormitories located behind Melchor Hall, namely Yakal, Ipil, and Molave, helped in keeping the operations of the DZUP transmission tower up and running by helping barricade the building. Even the famous engineering sundial was used as a barricade during the commune.
Welcome to the famous Palma Hall, or more commonly known as the AS, or the College of Arts and Sciences. Before the split into three, which were the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, College of Science, and the College of Arts and Letters. The Palma Hall served as the center of student activism from then even until now. Its front steps were graced by many different personalities, politicians, and student activists such as Benigno Aquino Jr. for their protest speeches.
The other accounts would say the senators at the time, Benigno Aquino, Soc Rodrigo, came to UP and in front of the AS, the AS steps talked to the students and declared their support for the commune.
The most popular place for making statements and speeches was, aside from Quezon Hall itself, were the AS steps. Most of our demos and rallies were done in front of Palma Hall. It's AS steps. Ayan ang talagang pinaka-area ng mga rally, where a lot of people came and delivered speeches. I don't recall seeing them, but I'm told that Sina Ninoy Aquino came over and during the commune and gave speeches there.
The AS steps, where women were putting together the Molotov bombs. Ito rin ang naging assembly line for the Molotov and for the pillbox making. Palma Hall was the source of many of the chairs that were used for the barricades, and you can see it in the assembly line, So ako, ang particular ko na space talaga sa barikada would be the space yun, matandaan ko ito. It would be sa kanto ng Roses, tsaka nandiyan yan sa, basta it is the space between Palma Hall and Faculty Center.
I remember personally seeing si Ninoy Aquino doon sa steps ng Arts and Sciences building. At nung makita ko siya doon sa AS building steps, he was distributing refreshments, sandwiches, at saka mga kape, sa mga estudyanteng nagbibigay at the time.
We were very well supported by the community. Otherwise, saan naman kami kukuha ng pagkain?
But as far as we know, yung mga communities helped us yung mga communities ng staff, in terms of defending the campus and also bringing food to support the communards. Communards ang tawag doon. Yeah. Hindi kami nagutom. Hindi may nagdadala ng pagkain mula sa labas, sa komunidad. Ang pagkain na talaga naman tandaan ko yung pandesal na early morning dinala ng isang naka-honor jeep sa aming barricade para bigyan kami ng almusal.
Walls of the building were turned into freedom walls, where students painted their concerns for the government as well as their slogans. The building served as a safe space for freedom of speech, where activists were able to voice out their demands of the government as well as educate the fellow students in the social and political climate of the country. During the Diliman Commune, its rooftop, now the building's 4th floor, also served as a lookout point for student sentries. Dr. Jose Dalisay Jr., former VP for Public Affairs, who was a student activist during those days, recounted manning the outpost as they recalled the rooftop for patrolling helicopters by police forces. Sentries would ignite quitties, an aerial firework to warn student activists inside the campus of approaching military or police patrols.
And then, of course, the rooftop of of the AS would be also a launching pad against the helicopters, the military helicopters hovering around the campus. Those were the two buildings with anti-aircraft missiles. Quote unquote. The anti-aircraft missiles are actually quitis from Bukawi.
We are now here at the old DZUP radio station, the official radio station of UP Diliman since the 70s. DZUP has been manned by the College of Engineering and students of journalism in the College of Mass Communication. Back then, DZUP station had to be transferred from one place or another. It was originally housed in Melchor Hall and was moved then later into this room inside the AS building. During the commune, radio hosts played Marcos sex tapes, brought live news updates that were censored from mainstream media, even as the military and police initiated crackdowns on what was then considered subversive content. Radio hosts gave fearless commentaries on air against Marcos and his administration.
At one time, DZUP was actually on top of the engineering building. Nandun sa pinaka-4th floor niya, ng Melchor Hall. Pero in 1971, in our time, the booth was actually in what is now Palma Hall, 1st floor.
AS was also where, as far as I remember, where the DZUP was then located. Ang pagkatanda ko, nasa 1st floor siya eh. It was a means by which the outside community learned about what is happening. So you have that, what is happening, why was Diliman Commune brought up, then you have the tape of Marcos singing Pamulinawen to Dobby Beam. So remember, it's so classic. 50 years ago, I can still remember the Hollywood starlet who was rumored to be, having an affair with the president, and Imelda Marcos hated her.
Marinig mo sa loudspeaker na yung encuentro ni President Marcos at saka ni Dobby Beam.
Dahil mahalaga yung DZUP broadcast, ang laki-laki ng UP Diliman campus at yung barikada, hindi na lang sa harap ng UP admin. Umikot yun hanggang likod, hanggang Balara. Naging importante yung DZUP as a command center. Ang madidescribe ko lang, nakakulong kami sa studio, pinakakain kami ron. Kasi we have to stay there 24 hours eh. Baka kung lumabas kami, hindi na kami makapasok. Dahil nga barricaded, no?
It was renamed as Malayang Tinig ng Demokratikong Komunidad ng UP Diliman. As the main information center before and during the commune, DZUP caught the ire of government forces. Its headquarters was once infiltrated by masked men who axed all the equipment and destroyed everything that might be used by the radio station for broadcasting.
Now we take you to the Kamya and the Sampaguita residences. These twin dormitories served as the food centers, a factory site of Molotov cocktails and pillboxes, and a hideout during the Diliman Commune. The Kamya Residence Hall was restricted to female students, but it gave shelters to student activists when they were being chased by authorities. Male students barricaded the entrances. As a response, PC and Metrocom shot fires and used tear gas to the building. There were negotiations between UP President Lopez and the Quezon Police District to have the barricades removed. When these broke down, dorms, including the Sampaguita Residence Hall, were invaded by police forces by breaking doors and firing shots.
Salvador Lopez, SP Lopez actually negotiated with the police forces not to attack, to solve it, no? Because they want the barricades removed immediately. So no, we cannot, because what you have done to us demanded that we defend the university.
Students who were residing inside, including non-activists, unknowingly woke up to tear gas that wafts through the hallways and through the doors. PC and Metrocom had breakthrough, believing the dorms to be a hideout, traumatizing its female students. Students also reported that their personal belongings were stolen and destroyed after the forceful raid.
When it happened, I was in Sampaguita. So the call was to defend the university from the attack of the military forces. Nag-tear gas sa Sampaguita. They came in, and some of the dormers lost possessions like watches and wallets. Women dormers, no, who were in the campus when these things happened, and they realized, they have to do something. So they were part of that assembly line for the Molotov and for the pillbox, but they also helped with the food, the classic traditional role of women.
We have now arrived at our last stop, the Vincent's Hall. Vincent's Hall houses offices concerning student affairs such as the University Student Council, student organizations, scholarships, financial assistance, and the Philippine Collegian.
I was a collegian reporter then, so I was able to, and an activist, so I was there. I think during the middle of that week, we felt that we needed to publish the Philippine Collegian. And so we were thinking of how to get out of campus. And so I had this brilliant idea that, I know this professor, he has a car. So I said, punta tayo kay Dr. Lagmay, baka matulungan niya tayo. And he said, okay, yeah, sure, I'll help you out. So nakalusot kami and nailabas namin yung collegian.
Dr. Alfredo V. Lagmay, a psychology professor, played a significant role during the Diliman Commune. As narrated by Dr. Jose Dalisay Jr., he and two other students who were working for Philippine Collegian had to be spirited by Professor Lagmay into his vehicle outside the UP campus and brought to Liwayway Press in Manila to have the Collegian printed.
Doon kami sa AS Steps nagrarally. But the mobilization area was really Vincent's Hall. Diyan mo makikita yung mga streamer na pinipinta. Diyan kami nagmimimeograph ng mga manifesto.
Vincent's Hall served as one of the activists' headquarters during the Diliman Commune. Aside from the Palma Hall, here is where students meet and assemble for planning and mobilizations.
Another important part of Commune, of course, was Vincent's Hall, which served as our virtual HQ, particularly a small room on the very far left of Vincent's Hall, which was called the Trialogue. Doon din kami nagmo-mobilize, doon kami gumagawa ng mga placard and so on. But on the second floor of Vincent's Hall, right on top of the Trialogue, that was the office of the Philippine Collegian. And of course, that was also a very important spot for activists to converge in.
Tambayan talaga yan ng mga aktivista no? Because the student council office was there, the collegian office was there, and the office of the dean of students was also there. So nandoon si Dean Malay.
On the grass fronting Vincent's Hall, that kind of slopes down, that's where the discussion groups, the DGs, took place.
Memorable na sa akin ng mga araw na yun. Isang gabing nakasama namin si Maria Lorena Barros tungkol sa mga pananaw ang pinag-uusapan namin. Nagkakaintindihan na kami sa isang pananaw ng panahon yon, ang protektahan ng UP.
In spite of us being ROTC officers, we were first UP students. Tapos nakikinig kami sa mga discussions, Ngayon, in one huddle, we met itong si Maria Lorena Barros.
Nagtataka siya kung bakit kami nandoon. Sabi namin, kasi nga, identification sa amin sa ROTC cadet officer nasa extreme right. But we made a decision that we are all UP students first, and we believe in our fellow students. So no matter what, we support our fellow students at the time. Nagkakaintindihan na kami sa isang pananaw ng panahon yon, ang protektahan ng UP laban sa mga maaaring pumasok sa UP noon, yung mga Metrocom.
We were viewed with suspicion nung gabing we roamed around the campus. Kasi kilalang cadet officer tayo because of our haircut. So we had to explain ourselves. There were handles of students nakapaligid dyan sa may sunken garden, And so we joined these handles. And in each and every handle, we were recognized as cadet officers. At ang unang tanong sa amin, anong ginagawa niyo rito? We explained na despite of us being ROTC officers, we were first UP students.
We are there not necessarily being to the leftist ideology, but rather to protect our fellow students and to join them when we feel that it is right.
Habang lumalalim ang gabi, hindi ko alam kung February 3 to yung nangyari, February 3 or 4, may dumating na isang sasakyan. Sasakyan na itim, naalala ko pa yan. And hindi namin inaasahan. And for the first time, nakita ko nang bumaba sa sasakyan, si Ninoy Aquino, si Senator Ninoy Aquino. At ang ginawa niya, bumaba siya, kinumusta kami. At sabi niya, ito, binuksan niya yung likod ng kotse niya. At may dala sa mga pagkain para sa amin nung gabing yun.
During the third day of the commune, police forces stealthily made their way into UP Diliman through the Katipunan Avenue, while protesters and professors were busy negotiating with the police forces and the military at the University Avenue.
Nare-recall ko yung assault ng Metrocom doon sa may rear entrance sa Balara. Itong UP activists, they seized control of yung radio station ng UP,
Kami yata nagbabato, naghabol sa Metrocom. Nag-withdraw na sila.
The next day, students from Nara Residence Hall, a dormitory near Vincent's Hall, exchanged fire using quitties with the police forces in the area, and on the sixth day, during an encounter, 3 students were hurt and 1 cadet officer, Danilo Delfin, was shot by the police. The bullet went through his shoulders, his lungs, and a bone in his back. Even though he was rushed to the hospital, the incident left half of his body paralyzed.
Junior officer namin na si Danke or Danilo Delfin. Siguro mga alas 5 na madaling araw, 6 o'clock na madaling araw. May gumigising sa akin na isang kapats ko rin. Sinasabing nabaril nga si Danny Delfin. Sa akin, he should be really treated as one of the heroes ng Diliman Commune. It changed his life forever. Na-paralyze siya, nawala yung kanyang mga ambisyon. He was really helping.
Vincent's Hall was a prime spot during the first quarter storm. Slogans, placards, and banners decorated the walls and the facade of the building. According to Dean Malay, students from the Institute of Chemistry used to produce Molotov cocktails in one of its areas to defend themselves and to defend academic freedom.
In this particular time, there were more activists, and in this particular moment, even non-activists felt the need to defend the university.
Nalaman din namin in the region na yung isang laboratory sa AS ng chemistry laboratory, may mga ibang mga estudyante at mga faculty siguro, na gumawa ng mga Molotov para to prevent the soldiers from occupying yung kanilang mga barricades.
The commune was largely an act of symbolic resistance.
The spirit of the Diliman Commune should remain, should be kept burning.
The University of the Philippines was not spared in the horrors of the Diliman Commune, First Quarter Storm, and martial law. The UP community showed the whole nation that we will always be against dictatorship, as well as we condemn all actions that harm the Filipino people.
Never again, never forget. It is a call that resounds to all Filipinos. It is a call that rallies all who are willing to fight for what is right and just for the people. It serves as both a stark reminder of the dark decade past and a commemoration of all who had laid down their lives to overthrow a dictatorship. We will not yield to any dictator. Never again, never forget.
We have now reached the end of our virtual tour. We hope that we have been able to inspire you with stories from the Diliman Commune. Of course, there is a lot more to both experience and discover. The next time you come to campus, may you remember the colorful history behind each of these locations. Once again, we thank you for coming with us on this virtual tour. Until next time.
We hope that we have helped enlighten everyone and thicken the discourse through the stories and the rich history that our university has gone through in the past. May our dear students, alumni, and guests be inspired and truly feel grateful for the institution that has become a beacon of academic freedom. Let us all remember the sacrifices that our Kapwa Scholar ng Bayan have made and continue their legacy by embodying the honor and excellence that our university has continuously inspired to instill in us. Now, to formally end our program, let us welcome one of the key figures in the creation of our virtual tour, our one and only Director of TVUP, Director Grace Javier Alfonso.
Good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be speaking about the work we do. This is the premiere of a new format for the Asian Institute of Tourism's Kwentong Mulat. It brings together the images, the pathways, the facade, and the hallways of buildings of the University of the Philippines. And more importantly, the many stories of the past, the present, and what they all mean today, and how they can influence our future. The virtual format allows us to go beyond the physical walk, the pasyal. In this case, the Diliman Commune Virtual Tour allows the movement of ideas, interpretations of the young, and the exchange of ideas through the narratives shared by those who were there in the Diliman Commune. It is the story of UP Diliman as a community, as they put together their resources fighting for freedom and thought and speech, and freedom from the shackles of repression and dictatorship. Maraming salamat sa AIT, lahat ng tumulong sa paggawa nito na naipakita ng maikling video na ginawa ng mga kasamahan natin sa AIT, at maraming salamat sa tulong ng OICA. Kami po naman, ang team ng TVUP, ay taos-pusong nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng nag-ambag para mabuo ito. Ang ating mga kasamahan na nagpamahagi ng kanilang kwento, mga kasamahan natin sa production, mga nanonood ngayon, at manonood muli sa replay sa TVUP. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Director Alfonso and your team from TVUP for your full support and effort in creating this virtual tour. We would like to also thank everyone who attended this event, including our guest speakers, guests of honor, faculty, and of course, our dear students. We encourage everyone to continue supporting our project and help spread the virtual tour to your friends and your families.
Once again, this is Kwentong Mulat, the Diliman Commune Virtual Pasyal. Have a nice evening!